Okay, guys, back to the restoration of all things. I have known people who believe in pre-trib, quite a few actually, that believe that during that time is when those who do not believe in Jesus will miraculously find faith during the tribulation and come to know him as Lord, and things will be restored at that time, that they'll be saved and yada, 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 yada. However, that is not faith of the Bible, as the Bible explains it. Basically, what pre-tribbers teach is these people who don't believe in God, they're going to witness and see that all of us are raptured and then all of a sudden come to faith. That's not true faith. That's not what happens. Faith is of the unseen. And to state that people will be saved after only seeing and will believe, that's not going to happen. That's not faith of the Bible, as it explains. But this is what pre-tribbers teach, and that's where the restoration comes from, of that teaching that they teach. I'm glad you, Brother Jones, do not believe that that is the time of restoration. We cannot go or receive our glorified bodies until raising of the dead takes place first. Jesus' second coming is the one and only time that this takes place, after the tribulation. Paul in 1 Thessalonians 5 was speaking about those who are in the light will witness the sudden destruction, aka tribulation. We're not raptured out of here before it. We're waiting and watching for this to take place. Those in the light are watching for this. Those in the dark are not. You can easily see those in the dark. I think they're going to get it early, take it out. They're not watching for the tribulation to take place. They're not watching for the things Jesus said have to take place before the rapture, before his second coming. This is what watchmen are supposed to be watching for. This is why Jesus, in Matthew 24, also compared this same one-time rapture event that Paul was speaking of in 1 Thessalonians 5 as a thief to that houseman that was not watching. He was not watching for the things that had to take place. Therefore, he came to him as a thief, just as in 1 Thessalonians 5. Those in the dark are not watching. It is they he comes to as a thief. There's two different groups that are going to be here. Well, actually three. But two different groups that Paul and Jesus talk of. Those who are watching, those who are not. It's not going to come as a thief to those who are watching, because we're going to know when the time is near. Because we know that the Antichrist is going to set up and rule all nations before that day can come. The great falling away is going to take place before that day comes. The mark of the beast is going to come out before that day comes. And we are watching for the sudden destruction, as Paul tells us to do, with the armor of God on. We don't need the armor of God on in heaven, guys. We wouldn't need that if we were raptured out of here first. But we will need that for the battle that the beast brings to us, the church, in Revelation 12. We are the seed. We are those who follow and believe in Jesus. And the beast is being let go by the restrainer, Michael. And we got to be ready for that. We really have to be ready for that, because it is going to be some really bad stuff happening on earth at that time. And we have to have our faith prepared, our families prepared, our homes prepared, and a plan in place. And most importantly, have Jesus as the center. I cannot stress that enough. This is why I tell people to watch my first video, Pre-Trib Part 1, and listen to the story of that mother. It's a true story, guys, and it's very, very, very sad what she went through and what her child went through. But that is the kind of faith that we all need for these last days. And very sadly, most pre-tribbers don't have that kind of faith. And this is where the great falling away is going to take place, guys. Like I always say, a post-tribber has nothing to lose, and the devil has nothing to gain from us. Those who believe in pre-trib, the devil has much to gain from. Much to gain from. I don't see how people can't see that. And the one thing I never see is I never see any pre-trib preachers out there cover their butt by saying, well, you know, guys, just in case I'm wrong, here are ways that we can prepare in case we find ourselves in the tribulation. This is the type of faith we're going to need. This is what we're going to need to not take that mark. Here's some ideas of what you can do to be able to survive during the tribulation, to keep preaching God's word, because there's going to be people who are doubting God's word and are losing faith during that time. And we as disciples need to be prepared to keep preaching during that horrible time. Now time to go on to my next video.